Hey guys, Chris Cantelmo here with another vibration. This goes out to T-Rex Sephora, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, who asked me what to think about the past proponents, public vocal proponents of psychedelics, such as Timothy Leary and Terence McKenna and others, Joe Rogan, most recently, and where they might have succeeded and failed. And I think, okay, Timothy Leary clearly was the first, and I think we can all agree he failed because if his goal was to have psychedelics used widespread throughout society, I guess in a sense he achieved that for a while, but getting it to be mainstream and accepted, he failed. And I think the reason he failed is because his mantra was turn on, tune in, drop out. Big mistake. You don't want to drop out. We want to drop into the world and engage the world, because the world's not going away and you can't escape the world. We all live in the world. So the goal has to be for people to be more engaged and bring peace and love to the world. And dropping out of the world is not the way to do that. Now, Terence McKenna, and by the way, all these guys I have incredible respect for, because they took on very publicly chemicals that were illegal and are illegal in most places. And they put their freedom and careers at risk to great personal harm in the case of Timothy Leary. He spent years in jail. And Terence McKenna, what a champ. He was talking about and admitting to doing large quantities of psychedelics when they still are illegal. And God bless him. What a genius. And he's so well spoken and so could describe those experiences incredibly well. I mean, when anyone who has done a psychedelic understands that you cannot possibly understand what they're like without having done them. One of the incredible features of psychedelics are that when you close your eyes, there's more going on than when you have your eyes open. And you see things that are just so beautiful and that you could never imagine on your own, and they don't come from your brain. It turns out that what happens when you take a psychedelic is that you tune in to frequencies, the cosmic broadcast from God, and basically your brain, your visual cortex becomes like a TV. You close your eyes and the TV turns on and you just see the most amazing things. And you have no control of it, zero control. What you see is you just watch and see what happens. Terence McKenna, now Terence McKenna was great. And Dennis McKenna, his brother, was also a good advocate. Now where Terence McKenna failed, because I think he didn't realize this, is he first of all, he spent this almost childish obsession with doing psychedelics in the quiet darkness. Okay, that can only get you so far. And he still believed that the visions of psychedelics, created by psychedelics, are only in the mind. They're an illusion. They're, when he spoke of hallucinations, he thought they were mind generated. That's not true. When you are having closed eye hallucinations, what you're doing is your brain becomes like the TV, as I said, there's a broadcast that goes on and your brain then picks it up. When you have your eyes open, you're seeing spirits and things that are in the real world. And again, one of the ways that you can do this is what I do on DMT is when there's a spirit out there, I can put my hand between me and the spirit and it blocks the view of the spirit. That tells you the spirit is out there. It's one of the ways that you know. Okay, so Terence, incredible mind and brave person. God bless him. Joe Rogan, probably has reached more people because he had access to the internet and a huge listener base. He's an amazing person, very smart, interested in a lot of things. And he kept my interest in DMT, reignited my interest in DMT. Now, what happened with Joe Rogan is he dropped the ball again because he had a bunch of people around him telling him, oh, it's not, you're making too much of this and it's not as incredible as you think, it's an illusion. And he had what happens when you do DMT and you go real deep in DMT. With any substance, you sort of have to test your limits, and you do more and more, and you see, okay, what happens. And then when you go too far, with DMT, it is terrifying. I cannot explain how unbelievably terrifying is the world that you tap into when you do too much, and you can do too much. And Joe Rogan described getting to a place where the jesters, these jesters who exist outside of us, and that you meet when you do DMT, were giving him the finger. So they weren't very welcoming, and it scared him. And it is scary when you go to a place that's, these other dimensions that are here all the time, but you're not aware of them until you have a DMT-enabled brain. When you go to these dimensions and you're not welcome, it's freaking scary, really, really scary. And even though when you inhale it, it lasts a short time. It doesn't really matter the length. When you're in there, time sort of stops. So I understand what happened to Joe Rogan, and I would love to help him over his fear and get him to do it again. And the thing about DMT is you don't have to, you can do a little. Sometimes I'll go out, when I go out for my walks, I always take my DMT pipe and I vape as I'm walking. And you can just do a little, and you test the waters, and if it feels good, you do a little more, and you can just, over 3 inhalations, you can decide if you're going to break through or not. Breaking through is very important. So my goal as now a vocal spokesman for psychedelics, and really DMT it's not even a psychedelic, it's a whole nother realm. DMT is going to be, there was the world before DMT and the world after I explained how it works. And it's going to save the planet with your help. And as each of you do it, you're starting to see what I'm talking about. And then you can be the same vocal advocates that I am. And when we join forces, and instead of like just a handful of people talking about this, we have hundreds and then thousands and then millions of people saying the same thing, we're going to see the world is going to change. We can do this. Let's do it. Chris Cantelmo here with another vibration. Bye-bye. By the way, turn on, tune in, drop in.